Hey everyone, today's 24th of March. It's my youngest daughter's birthday, Heather. So Heather, if you're watching, happy birthday. And today we're going to build this. We're going to build one of these small tables. And one other thing, while I got the camera up, if you'll notice, we have the video corner now. And right now we're on Cindy's table, and we'll be going to Bean Outhouse. That's kind of a little bit of a riddle for you, but you'll see what it means whenever you watch her video. And Cindy, I'm sorry, but you kind of got buried down here, and I just overlooked you by accident because I was trying to get caught up on stuff that we sold from the show. But in saying that, we'll go ahead and we'll get started with our build. First thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the cut list, and we'll cut all of our parts out. This isn't a very hard build. It's just something that you go down through your list, you make all of your parts to the length and the width of them, and then there's one little angled part in here that makes it a little bit tricky, but nothing that bad. And that's about it. Put her in paint, and but in saying that, let's get going, and I'll show you how to do it. Let me go ahead and show you real quick. Hopefully you can see this all right. That's the cut list for the table. I'll show you that we're going to go ahead. We have two 9-inch pieces. The top and bottom are both 9 by 9. So we'll grab a 1 by 10, which is 9 1/4, and we'll chop that out to about 18 1/2, and then that'll give us a more manageable size piece to put on the table saw, and we can eliminate any of that tear out that we get on the end of the cut. So we'll get two 9-inch pieces out of that. We'll square that up a little bit. It may end up being like 8 7/8 whenever we're done, so we have nice smooth edges to route the top edge on that. Then we'll take and cut the 31-inch legs, 3/4 of an inch. We'll cut them on the miter saw, and then we'll go ahead and rip them on the table saw down 3/4 by 3/4. That'll be our legs, and then we'll move on from there. So let's get started. One other thing, if you're looking at the wood, one thing you want to be kind of careful about, see how I got a nice clear wood there? I want to use something clear for these legs. I don't want any knots on something as small as 3/4 by 3/4. I wouldn't want to use this end of it with these knots on there. So I grabbed the piece that was the clearest, as they say, without any knots on there. Just a little tidbit. Got our table saw set up at 9 inches right now. Go ahead and run the first pass through here. Next thing we'll do is we'll move our fence down to 3/4 of an inch. Lock that in. Our push stick ready, and we'll pour it. I had a little mark right there that I don't want in the leg. That's why I cut off 5. One of the last things we're going to do here is the final piece is the skirt. It's 5 1/8 by 5 1/2. The board's already 5 1/2 wide. So we'll use the miter saw to make sure, or the miter gauge here to make sure we stay at 90 degrees. And we're going to hold it up against the fence to keep our distance right. Big thing here is when you're cutting something like this, if you're not cutting it like in a crosscut sled or something like that, is make sure you don't get any of this wibble wobble like that, because you don't want any kickback. So kind of just run it through, hold on to your miter gauge, nice and smooth, back to the next one. We're going to cut an angle in these here pretty soon too. And we're going to cut a little practice piece to check that angle out a couple times. Maybe 2. that to be just right so it comes out without any gaps. Next thing I do is I look through the pieces and I'll try to find the ones that are the clearest. No knots. So I got 3 without any knots, and I got 1 with a small knot up here in the corner, but it's not a big deal. We'll use these pieces here for practice, and we'll save the good ones for once we get it all figured out. Hopefully you can see this, but there's an angle right here. It's bigger at the bottom than it is at the top, so we need to figure out what that angle is. It'll be kind of like this. So you're going to take this along the edge of that, run up along the bottom edge of this, which is 90, and then read our reading up here, which is about 3.5, 4 degrees. So that's what we'll set our table saw at with a miter gauge, and then we'll check it against this and see what we get since we're using this as our template. Well, you can kind of see, hopefully, it's set at around 3.5 degrees. I'm going to try that first and see how that works for us. Go ahead and put that in there. Tell you what, it looks really close. As you can tell, it's a little bit smaller on top than it is on the bottom, so let's go check it on the template. Well, if you look right here, it comes up through there, that sucker's about perfect. Well, we're getting close to getting all these pieces ready for assembly. The last thing we need to do is, see that or not, it's got a round over on this edge right here. I ran it around the router while I was setting the height up. This has a self-aligning bearing on it, and it's a round over bit for a 1/2 inch radius. So we'll go ahead and put that on the top edge of this and the other top edge. It'll give it a little bit more finished look, and then we're about ready to start assembling this thing and get it ready for paint. Ready to start assembling this thing, and one thing I do want to show you real quick is the alignment of the legs on the skirt. How you want to keep the legs down just a little bit so that everything stays flush. If you look here, I'm going to push it up against there. There's a little gap right here and a little gap right there. It's because of that 3.5 degree angle. So we'll keep it down a little bit like that, and we'll use our top to align that while we're stapling it together, or brad nail and glue this thing together. And then we can start putting the top and bottom on, and it's done. Kind of wanted to show you that I put like 2 parallels down on the bottom of here so that I can fit my bottom piece on. It'll be nice and straight and level. So as you can tell, I got some clamps on the top to make sure there's no gaps up there as well. And then we'll put a brad nail here, here, there, and there, and we'll put the top on, and we can call this thing done. Well, everyone, we got everything about done. There's our finished product. It turned out really nice. I'm glad how it looked. I'll go ahead and finish sand this, get it ready for paint, and we can call Cindy up here real soon and tell her thing's done. And it's about 70 freaking degrees outside, so that means I need to get on my road bike and get out riding. That's where I need to be. Hey y'all, hope you had a good time watching the video. If you like it, hit subscribe, or you can check it out maybe on our link at Country Ridge Crafts. We're having a really good time doing this, something new. We're going to be coming up some new items here real soon, and we may or may not make a video, but we'll definitely show you them on the site. So I'm not waiting around any longer. It's like 70 degrees. It's absolutely the most gorgeous day we've had in the spring here so far. So I'm heading out, and have a good day, guys.